Going into EDT 190, I did not know what to expect. However, I came in with intentions to learn and hear new perspectives from different peers. I hoped that this class would have class discussions, which we actually did every day, so I was happy about that. I had the chance to listen to other students' perspectives and share my own. Listening to my peers' experiences, I was actually quite shocked. I came into EDT 190 with the assumption that everyone had experienced a similar high school experience as I did. I learned very quickly that that was not the case. I learned that there are people in the class who have not ever experienced diversity, and many of the students in the class went to primarily white high schools with very small graduating classes. I differ from that completely in the sense that I went to one of the largest high schools in Chicago. My high school was tremendously popular all over the Illinois area, even including surrounding states. The high school was a selective enrollment high school and one of the top 5 in Illinois, so as you can imagine, it was very hard to get in. The process, as my elementary school teacher would have stated it, was that it was harder to get into this school than it is to many colleges, and he was not wrong. So this clearly also filtered the advanced levels of my school and that students had to meet certain criteria to receive admission. My school was not well funded. It was part of a corrupt public school system, but yet still offered the very best opportunities in Chicago, including swimming pools, gyms, a movie theater, Apple devices, a greenhouse, dance studios, very high-end technology, all AP classes that ever existed, and even more classes than there are offered on certain college campuses. So I went to a very good high school, and I absolutely loved it. In my entire educational experience, my schools, elementary and high school, were very diverse. So I came in to Miami thinking that it was normal for students here at Miami to have experienced, but I didn't really give much thought that others may have been exposed to different environments that did not include diverse relations. In our class discussions, many people talked about racial slurs in their schools and how it was an issue. The racial slurs were persistent because people have not had experiences with students outside of their race or culture. I would like to change that in my classroom. In my school, this was a very small problem. Teachers were very accepting of all of their students, and the students were for the most part as well. Teachers are a prime source of guidance for learning acceptance. My freshman year English teacher, Mr. Fine, is the main reason that I would like to teach. He is such an inspirational character in my life, and I know that he inspired many others. He was open with his students, and his care was very evident. I aspire to be like him when I grow up and follow in his footsteps. Mr. Fine calls his classroom a hate-free zone where nobody is ever judged and everyone should feel comfortable making it their second home. Because of the huge diversity at our school, there was a decent amount of LGBTQ community. Mr. Fine himself shared his story on the first day of class of how him and his husband had to go through obstacles, and he has made it evident that his classroom is a place of love and not hate. Teachers often do not show that they care about their students, which really affects students' efforts towards their motivation for school. The teachers at my school went above and beyond to always have happy faces and relate to the students as much as they possibly can. Caring is a large part of being a teacher. It is not solemnly spitting facts at students and assessing them on whether or not they memorize them. School is about acceptance and learning to accept others' differences. In schools, there must be a connection. There is a big part of life that involves accepting others' differences and connecting with other individuals, and it is crucial to learn this in the young phases of one's life. Teachers' roles in students' lives shape them to who they become in their future. My teachers were very supportive and active in the student environment, always providing extra tutoring help, support for clubs and organizations, and giving up their free time to be with the students. Here's a picture of one of my teachers, Mr. Gonzalez, that joined the students for a 5K run organized by a school organization to help raise funds for our sports teams. Teachers can help address certain topics by bringing these issues inside of the classroom. One way that Mr. Fine would engage students is to speak of current events and issues. Even 5 minutes of the class is enough time to make a difference. Mr. Fine had this activity called Quotes of the Day, where he would have a different quote at the beginning of each class period, ranging from race, love, crime, whatever it was, sometimes just something funny or fun-related. He would have it written on the board every day, and 5 people would volunteer to be thinkers. Thinkers gave their perspective on the quote and what it meant to them. These discussions were definitely the best discussions that I have ever had in school. It was one of my favorite parts of his class, and I took away something from each discussion. That class really became a family, and we had a lot of fun in that class, while also learning a lot. Through many of his activities, I learned stories of others on a personal level, and I had a very large peak of maturing in that class when other people's stories touched me. I would recommend these activities that Mr. Fine used to all teachers. When students become comfortable, they can create a sense of community and positivity with one another. By providing their time and effort into students, teachers exemplify what it means to teach. Teaching far surpasses providing information to students and expecting them to do well on tests, although unfortunately, that is what school has turned into through the years. As a teacher, I would like to change that and keep training out of the classroom. There is a difference between training and teaching. Teaching is an investment of time into teaching the students to understand the concepts that need to be mastered, as well as the ones that they need to know for life. As described in one of our readings by Quantz, we can train a dog, but we cannot educate a dog. We can train a person, but we can also educate a person. I like this comparison because it further demonstrates that training is far different from education. Training is teaching someone a concept, but education is when a person understands the concept, not just memorizes it. This is one of the primary reasons that schools become a source for training students for career professions. In EDT 190, I discovered that there is so much more to being a teacher than just providing students information. I hope to take everything that I learned and apply it in my classroom one day.